A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Lunchtime News. I'm Shahan Jurampati. These are your headlines. Discussion between the South African Deputy President and the TNA. CPC says that the Sapulkhasa oil refinery will commence functioning next week. Citizens are being forced to brave the rough seas in search of jobs. A statement from the JVP. First semi-final of the FIFA World Cup today. Now for those stories in detail, Deputy President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, who is currently in the island, called on President Mahinda Rajapaksa and engaged in a cordial discussion. According to the presidential media units, the meeting was held at Temple Trees yesterday. The South African Deputy President and his delegation arrived in the island yesterday upon an invitation extended by the Sri Lankan government. Government lawyers of Australia have confirmed that 153 asylum seekers, including children as young as 2 years old, have been intercepted and are being held on a customs vessel. According to Australian-based ABC News, government lawyers of Australia have told a High Court hearing 72 hours notice will be given before 153 asylum seekers being held on a customs ship are handed back to Sri Lankan authorities. Now, lawyers acting for about one-third of the asylum seekers, whose whereabouts the government refuses to disclose, are seeking to challenge the legality of the Commonwealth's actions. The court has yet to decide if the lawyers have a case to be heard, but if the application is accepted, it could prevent the asylum seekers being handed over to Sri Lankan authorities. In the meantime, leader of the JVP, Anrukumar Dissanayake, says that the people are put into a situation where they are forced to brave the seas and go in search of employment. The JVP leader made this statement at a meeting held at the Ratnapura Urban Council.
The meeting was held to raise awareness on the policy of the JVP.
The people of this country have been forced to brave the seas and go in search of employment, casting aside their own personal security. Fathers are stepping in front of moving trains and committing suicide because they have no way of feeding their children. This is the situation in the country. Children are strangled to death in a bid to take revenge from the mother who is employed abroad. A girl from Hanguranketha committed suicide because she had no way to go to school. Is this good for the country? Don't we need to change this? Representatives of the Tamil National Alliance called on the visiting Deputy President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, this morning in Colombo. TNA Parliamentary Group Leader R. Sambandhan headed the TNA delegation at this meeting that was also attended by TNA MPs M.A. Sumandiran, Suresh Premachandra and Mavavi Sinadiraja.
South Africa's involvement in sharing their own experiences and assisting the TNA and the government to take the process of political reconciliation forward is a constructive one, and we believe that this process will continue. We have extended our support, our appreciation for their efforts, and in the future, when there is an effort to settle the political issue as well as the ongoing violations, he'll be fully apprised of the ground situation. So we look forward to South Africa's continuing constructive engagement.
Also making headlines this afternoon, the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation says that activities temporarily halted at the Sapulkhasa oil refinery will resume next week. Managing Director of CPC, Susantha De Silva, said that the loading buoy, which was damaged, is being repaired. Operations at the oil refinery in Sapulkhasa had been stalled for over 2 weeks as the loading of crude oil had been suspended from the 22nd of May as a result of damages on the loading pipes. Meanwhile, loading of fuel at the Muthurajawala stores was suspended from Friday, also as a result of the damages on the pipes. Managing Director of the CPC, however, said that there will be no scarcity of fuel in the country. He noted that with the conclusion of repairs, loading of fuel will commence. One person was arrested when a fraudulent kacheri was raided in Mariavatta Gampola. The arrested person had been operating the fraudulent kacheri at his residence. The police said that over 100 fake temporary driver's licenses, birth certificates, national identity cards and over 100 photographs of persons and other documents have been seized by the police. According to the police, the suspect had charged 15,000 rupees to create a driver's license, 8,000 rupees to create a temporary driver's license. The suspect will be produced before the Gampola Magistrates Court today. An event to present air tickets and wish good luck to the students attending the 26th Asia Pacific Children's Summit was held yesterday under the patronage of Education Minister Bandula Gunawardena. The event was held at the auditorium of the Ministry of Education. No matter how parents think, the most talented children are born in rural areas. If the resources for that village and the human and physical resources are provided for these children, we can curb the amount of unfairness towards students from rural areas through free education. We see this as a reason for jealousy amongst classes from urban areas. The Colombo Municipal Council announced today that a dengue eradication program with the participation of 1,900 persons will take place within the Colombo city limits. The Chief Medical Officer of the Colombo Municipal Council, Dr. Ruan Vijayamuni, stated that medical officials attached to the Municipal Council, public health inspectors, the armed forces and the police have been involved in the matter.
Dr. Ruan Vijayamuni stated that this dengue eradication program is being carried out in the areas of Kolpiti, Veakanda, Hunipitiya and Slave Island and will continue tomorrow and the day after. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health states that over 19,000 dengue patients have been reported so far this year. The epidemiology unit stated that 19,445 have been reported thus far. 6,948 patients have been reported from the Colombo district. Apart from that, 3,094 patients have been reported from Gampaha and 1,292 have been reported from the Kalutara district. The highest amount of dengue patients for the year have been reported in June, with the number standing at 6,281. 211 patients have been diagnosed with dengue fever so far this month.
A motor accident that took place in the Malwata area on the Ratnapura-Ambalipitia main road claimed the life of one person. The accident was a result of a truck plying from Ratnapura to Ambalipitia running over an individual who was standing next to a parked lorry. Our correspondent in the area said that the accident took place at 11 last night. The victim has been identified as 33-year-old Anusha Dhammika, a father of two from Godakavela, Mat Imbala. The body of the deceased has been placed at the Godakavela District Hospital. The driver of the truck has been arrested and a police investigation is underway. Meanwhile, a lorry met with an accident on the Southern Expressway. According to the police, the accident took place when the driver of the lorry fell asleep on the wheel and lost control of the vehicle. 3 individuals travelling in the lorry sustained injuries and were admitted to the Nagoda hospital. The injured are residents of Matara, Tihagoda and Uyanwata areas. On to other local news. The body of an individual who went missing in the Batalagoda tank in Ibbagamo has been found. The individual went missing while bathing with a group of persons last evening. The victim has been identified as 34-year-old Sumeda Madhushankar from Vandurugalavata in Kandumale. The police said that the tragedy occurred at around 5:50 last evening. Statements were recorded from 41 persons in connection with the mass graves excavated in Kurukalmadam, Batikulo. Police media spokesperson SSP Ajitrona says that statements were recorded from persons believed to be relatives of those abducted and killed by the LTTE. He added that it is likely that the skeletal remains excavated from the mass graves belong to persons abducted and killed by LTTE in the year 1990. Excavations at the site of the graves were due to commence on the 1st of this month. However, following court orders released upon request made by the Kalawanchikudi police, excavations were rescheduled for the 18th of this month.
Newsfirst is the most trusted news website in Sri Lanka, using a multi-platform responsive layout for a richer user experience. Our news reporting is verified, unbiased, balanced and fearless. We are Sri Lanka's most powerful social media network. Millions trust Newsfirst. That's why we are number one. Access our content on the web, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Newsfirst, your life, our news.
And with that, we wrap up lunchtime news. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day ahead of you. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Shahin Jampati.
Hotline 0114 896 896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.